Do you have absolute certainty on how you go from hello to yes on what you're looking for? I watch people get stuck in Frozen, and that breaks my heart. I was once stuck in Frozen too. Greatest superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people.
Obtained her bachelor's in finance and marketing, where she received her MBA. And she specializes in nonprofits and obtained her Juris Doctorate, although she doesn't practice law. And Adrienne went from zero, and built her real estate empire, which was her American dream as a real estate broker, investor, landlord, and owner of her own brokerage firm. She has sold over 1,500 homes and 300 million in volume of real estate in the last 10 years. That is so amazing, Adriana. Welcome.
Thank you. So happy to be here.
Adriana, how are you?
I'm doing amazing. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Are you dressing up for Halloween?
Yes, this is my Dia de los Muertos half costume.
That is amazing. So, by the way, we are Unblinded. I'm Sean Calgi, co-founder of Unblinded and creator of the Raw. I can't see. I'm actually blind, so I don't know what you're wearing. So what are you wearing today, Adriana?
I have flowers, red flowers, bandana around my hair.
Oh, very nice. Super cool. And how about a fun fact, Adriana? And congratulations on your amazing career.
Thank you so much. A fun fact is that I love to travel, and I've been to 53 countries.
Beautiful. What is your favorite country in the world to visit?
That's a hard question. I love
If tomorrow everything was good, no COVID, where would you go tomorrow?
I'll probably go back to South Africa. I felt when I was there, when I went into the safari and I was able to see the lions and the zebras and all of these animals, in their habitat, it was like I was an alien being on their world. It was amazing. I loved it.
Congratulations. Awesome job. Thanks for being here today. Michelle, we got more.
Yes, we got more. And our second contestant is Ro Couture Tesaro. And Ro Couture Tesaro is a multi-award-winning entrepreneur. She's been on TEDx speaker. She's 5-time best-selling author and transformational leader. She breaks through glass ceilings for women leaders and change makers gracefully, and a strong advocate for feminine influence. That's amazing. So welcome, Ro.
Ro, welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ro, where are you today?
A pleasure. Thank you. Where am I playing from?
Yes.
I'm playing from New Jersey.
What part?
Homedale.
Oh my goodness, that's absolutely amazing. Well,
I know, not far from you, right?
Yes, no, I love it. And how about talk to us about actually, let's go fun fact first.
Okay. Well, it kind of ties into anyway. Fun fact is I was a pioneer in the early 80s of women lifting free weights and being a bodybuilder. So one of the first.
Amazing. That is outstanding, bro. Do you still weight train?
Yes, I do.
Very, very nice. Love it. And how about talk to us about the masculine feminine balance? I love it. I speak into a bunch. Like what's present there for you in a couple sentences?
In a couple of sentences, it's so interesting. You're on Blinded. I talk a lot about the gender blind spots that we have that really stops both sides, actually, but I work mostly with women, but it stops both sides from really co-creating, collaborating, and working effectively together and tapping into the superpowers on both sides and putting that together as a team.
That's awesome. Ro, very impressive, and congratulations on your bestsellerness multiple times. And Mr. Willy Wonka has something to say to you on this Fun Friday.
No other factory in the world mixes its chocolate by waterfall. But it's the only way. You want it just right.
Did you know that, Ro, that no other chocolate factory mixes its chocolate by waterfall on this Fun Friday? So, Michelle, thank you, Ro.
What a fun Friday. I love Willy Wonka. So our first,
I grew up with my daughter with that.
Yeah,
I definitely grew up with that.
Amazing.
Amazing. Absolutely.
You should never, ever doubt what you're not really sure about. Yes, Michelle.
Never doubt. Never doubt. So our first judge is Chad Pape. Started his real estate career in 1990 and is a unique selling identifier of Chad's business plan is that of an aggressive coach in both buying and selling, based upon the need of the client he represents. And his education background is in marketing. He encourages and promotes continuous education, has been a keynote speaker at many seminars for his interpretation of the housing markets to Orange County and Los Angeles. And Chad's travels have taken him far around the world. In order to gain a worldly perspective, he has prominent Freemason and donate to education, cancer research, the Ironman Foundation, Raising a Reader Foundation, Shrines Hospital, and he has participated in Ironman triathlons, marathons, water ski, and competitors. We have a competitor in the house. Wow. Thank you for joining us, Chad.
You're very welcome.
Listen, that's all impressive. Ironman's massive business success, Freemasonness, right? But here's what I want to know. Do you know where the Holy Grail is buried? Can you finally settle that for us?
Probably not in so many different words, but I have my own theory.
Did you promise like the Knights Templar, the Freemasons that you wouldn't tell? Is that what is happening, Chad?
It's kind of funny as I am a Knights Templar. So
Chad, I know things, brother. So I know things.
I could tell. Thank you.
And welcome. So what is, if you wouldn't mind sharing, a fun fact, brother? I love your story.
Well, a lot of fun facts. Yes, the triathlons and so forth I've been doing for many, many years, and actually since high school. And I enjoy every minute of it, and I'm obsessed with it. Lately, I've been getting far more into it, but I had a couple accidents, and it was pretty fun because I went to Zion Mountain, broke both knees, and about 12 weeks ago, now I'm getting back in the swing of things. So it's actually the way I did break both of my knees actually was funny, but not really. But it was still funny. I go, you know what? Only me would do that. Seriously. So
how'd you do it?
It was funny. I misjudged a rock. And my knees went down on basically another rock, and they broke. But I ended up laughing because it hurt so much. And I was with guys, 2 other guys, and we were having a good time at Zion National Park, and it was beautiful. But then I laughed because I was like, "Oh my gosh, only me." It's funny though. It was a funny time.
It ain't a party in Zion unless you break a couple of knees. So welcome to the Real Raw on Mischief Night, sir. So thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
Yes, Michelle. But wait, we have 2 more judges.
Yeah, we have 2 more. And our second judge is Robin Katz. And Robin Katz sells luxury real estate in Miami Beach and its surrounding areas for over 25 years. She is an emotional, intelligent, and leadership coach and lifelong student. Robin has a private investment fund and a nonprofit in the works and has lived on various sailing yachts for 20 years in the Mediterranean and in the Caribbean. So welcome, Robin.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here, and I love hearing everyone's stories and where you're from and what you're about.
Yeah, Robin, super awesome life. This is like a really fun day on the Real Raw. So where did you live on these yachts?
Well, we lived mostly, I started in the Canary Islands, a very tiny island, La Gomera. And then I lived all over the Canary Islands, all over the south of, in the Mediterranean, south of Spain, and, all around Portugal. And then we sailed. Actually, I didn't sail because I was pregnant. My daughter would have been born in the middle of the Atlantic somewhere. So I opted out of that. I'm brave, but not that brave. And so then we moved to the Caribbean and basically lived in all the islands, primarily Grenada, St. Lucia, and long time in Trinidad.
Oh my goodness. So right near Barbados as well, right? Barbados is right off that coast.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, very, very cool. So welcome. And what's your favorite water activity? Because water seems to be a big part of your life.
It's a huge part. I'm so drawn to it. Probably swimming.
Cool.
Swimming, sailing, all of it, really. I mean, I can hardly choose. Anything
that's awesome.
with water. There's a big pool of water right outside my window, so I feel like at peace and at home here.
That's awesome. Well, welcome. And actually, my fun fact is this is the first Real Raw. Congratulations, by the way, on being on Real Raw episode number 275. This is the first one I've done from my offices here at Caligula Law. because we're still COVID shut down. So we have like 20,000 empty square feet. It's the first time I've been here in a while. We have, 125 people, and I've been doing it from down at my beach house mostly, which is where I go surfing every day. And my fun fact, I'll drop in really quickly with one of them, is that I'm blind, and I taught a blind guy to surf in the last 6 weeks in legit big surf in Long Beach Island. Footnote, if anybody doubts there's big surf in Long Beach Island, you could ask Craig from SoCal, who's a part of the Unblinded movement, who got whooped up in the New Jersey surf not that long ago. And we'll come back to that. But Patricia was there too to witness all of it. So thank you for being here, Robin. Welcome. It's a pleasure. Michelle, we got one more judge.
One more judge, and we have Dr.
Wait. So hold on. Let's see what Willie has to say.
Invention, my dear friends, is 93% perspiration, 6% electricity, 4% evaporation, and 2% butterscotch ripple.
2% butterscotch ripple. Back to you.
Yeah, I'll go with the 2% butterscotch ripple. That sounds really
perfect.
Good. Yes. So our third judge is Dr. Nancy Gaines Dillard. And Dr. Nancy Gaines Dillard has over 23 years of varied experience in family, emergency, and acute care medicine at teaching hospitals. Wow. Level 1 trauma centers and tertiary, I think I said that right, facilities. And she has taught at the Thomas Jefferson University, Harcum College, and various other educational institutions, to name a few. Dr. Nancy's integrative medicine has a unique perspective on healthcare moralities in that she is creative and progressive in her healthcare and education practice. She is a pioneer in her field and is dedicated to heal and educate the world one person at a time. I love that. And the vision of her Family Matters Healthcare Foundation is to take an integrative approach to healthcare in the community. Dr. Nancy has a passionate plan to develop a strong network between trained medical professionals, eager students, and welcoming communities. And Dr. Nancy also has a radio show called Dr. Nancy Knows. And I'll go ahead and turn it over to you, Sean, and thank you for being here, Dr. Nancy Gaines Dillard.
Dr. Nancy, it is clear that you know, and thank you for being here on the Raw.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and how about a fun fact, Dr. Nancy?
I have a 19-year-old African gray. His name is Congo.
Wow, 19. That's extraordinary. What is the oldest dog that you've ever been aware of, Dr. Nancy?
What is the oldest? I'm sorry?
You said you have a Great Dane, did you say?
An African gray parrot.
Oh, African gray parrot. I'm sorry. I missed Great Parrot. I heard Great Dane. Oh, because yeah, parrots can live close to 100 years old, correct?
They can. I got him when he was 6 weeks old, and he doesn't think he's a bird.
That is absolutely awesome. Well, congratulations. And where are you coming from today, Dr. Nancy?
Well, I'm in Scottsdale, Arizona, but a lot of my education and training was back east, University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia.
Boo! Quakers are in the house. The Quakers are in the house. So my freshman year at Columbia University, where I would eventually be captain of the baseball team, our hearts were broken regularly at UPenn by you Quakers. So congratulations on your extraordinary training and your baseball team beating my team. So congratulations.
All right, thanks.
That's awesome. You wouldn't happen to have been there. Remember, I can't see. I have retinitis pigmentosa. But Dr. Nancy, I don't want to ask anybody age questions, so I'll just go with this. Doug Glanville was there when I was playing. And this is in the beginning of the 90s. And he went on from UPenn to play for the Philadelphia Phillies and be a major league all-star. So he was somebody who was an arch nemesis of ours when we were playing against Penn back in the day. So thank you so much, Doctor. Did you go to undergrad there, or you were in medical school there? What was your
medical school and graduate studies there as well? Yeah, definitely. I've been around for a long while. I may look 12, but I'm not.
Awesome. And my cousin Jamie is an OBGYN who works at the hospital affiliated with UPenn, and she's delivered, I think, over 3,000 babies now and still going. There. So UPenn is in the house, but also you are now in Scottsdale, though, correct?
Well, I am. And, when you are trained UPenn, they breed you to go out, divide, and share the love and the education that they instill in you.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you for being here, Dr. Nancy. Appreciate you. And Michelle, we have these three judges, 2 participants, and we have an amazing, magical, wink, wink, magical role player.
Yes, and we have Patricia. Wow, Patricia Marcel. Nobody loves her job more than Patricia Marcel, and she is an executive at the Walt Disney Company. How fun, for international trade compliance. And she's the founder of PM Marcel, a leadership development coaching business where she helps leaders build systems in their organization as she leads virtual retreats for women to help them restore and feel empowered.
Nice.
Thank you, Patricia, for joining us.
What's up, Patricia? How are you?
Yes.
I am well. How are you?
I'm great. So here's a question. Which of these Disney characters do you prefer, Luke Skywalker or Peter Pan?
Peter Pan.
Peter Pan it is. Thank you, Patricia. Happy Fun Friday. So thank you again so much for being here. Patricia, how about a fun fact about your magical self?
So I trick-or-treated well into my high school years.
Well, that is outstanding. And Patricia, if you are here at Callagy Law in our New Jersey office, because we do have offices out by Dr. Nancy in Arizona and Florida and all near you. But if you're here in New Jersey, you could reverse trick or treat. We invented, we believe, Patricia, reverse trick or treating, where we take our fun pumpkins of candy and we take it throughout the building and give people candy with like 50 people from Callagy Law dressed in full costume. So if you're in New Jersey on Halloween, you can come reverse trick or treating with us. Enough of that. Enough of all of it. Yes, thank you. Michelle, I'm going to drop in real quick on what the heck is this and who's a strange person saying all these things. So yes, this is a fun fact as well. It is my first Real Raw in a hoodie. I don't even say the word hoodie. I grew up when it was called a hooded sweatshirt, but it does say Mr. Scotoma. That is my quasi-Halloween costume because the scotoma, as Dr. Nancy could explain to you, is a blank spot that comes into our neurology. And one of the most optimal ways of beginning to create, not only optimal, necessary to deal with the default no, is to open listening. And in our unblinded language, to create a scotoma. So we don't sound like Charlie Brown's teacher going wah, 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 wah. Because people think they've heard it all, seen it all, done it all. So how do we wipe that clean and start afresh and anew? Some of that science that looks like magic is what we play with here at the Real Raw. How did I come up with this and why are we doing all this? Well, when I was, as I said, captain of Columbia University baseball team and started developing retinitis pigmentosa, it cost me my professional career, like Doug Landville had. So I ended up going to law school. And quickly I realized that people who had the money, time, and magic they wanted were the people who had the superpower of influence. Problem was, I thought marketing and selling was about the most horrific, disgusting, and awful thing any human being could ever do with their time and energy. However, I quickly learned that we were actually an integrous, authentic influence, unblinding people to the truth. That led to me doing something that my family actually offered me psychological counseling over, which was quitting my job, which I had gotten out of 3,000 applicants. I was one of 5 people that were hired. And I quit 6 months into it, not to go run off and join a commune, but to build my own law firm, which I started on a credit card, $100,000 in debt. Lo and behold, my experiment to see whether or not personal development actually worked paid off. I had a 40-person law firm in 2 years, which I exited for multiple millions of dollars. And guess what? I had also failed freshman high school geometry for the year. So I wasn't that smart. I wasn't born that way, but there was a science and a formula to the superpower of influence and what to do with it. Since then, I built 5 other successful companies. You could argue it's 10 at this point, but 5 of them are still coming. I own a 125-person law firm with offices in 5 states. I'm one of 2 attorneys in America who is blind. I'm sorry, one of 2 attorneys in America at all to have 2 top 100 national jury verdicts between 2014 and 16. And the only one who's blind, by the way, Dr. Nancy, do have the largest jury verdict in the last 10 years in the state of Arizona, Maricopa County. Thank you very much. And my fun fact for this morning was I was on national news talking about taxes and the election, and I didn't blame anybody. I didn't judge anybody. I just talked about heart-centered truth and reality. So, Michelle, Patricia, whew, just another fun Friday in the Real Raw. So Patricia, what say you? And you're ready to rock and roll?
I'm totally ready to rock and roll. That was a major download and totally awesome.
Yes. Well, thanks, Patricia. And by the way, Michelle, thank you. And Patricia, does New Jersey have legit waves? And if you're saying yes, how do you know?
Because I was taken under.
So Long Beach Island, New Jersey, long live LBI. So Adriana and Ro, we're about to get some funness happening with Michelle. And we're going to unpack influence, not in like a boiler room meets Wolf of Wall Street kind of way, but instead we're going to sit in the space of integrous, heart-centered influence and what it looks like for you. So, Ro, you are definitely super close, not far away, probably an hour and a half where I'm sitting. So, Adriana, I'm going to put either a 1 or a 2 inside for Halloween, the Great Pumpkin. So it's either a 1 or a 2. What do you think it is? And I'm burying it in the candy.
It is a 1.
It is a 2, right? And I can be verified by everybody who's here in the office. Although, geez, there's like almost nobody here except one guest, and we'll see them in a little bit. So would you like to go first or second, Ro? You can either go first or you could throw Adriana under the proverbial bus since she has, journeyed to South Africa. Perhaps it would be the proverbial elephant. So would you like to go first?
Yeah, so let's have some fun and let's have her go first.
All right, Adriana, who would you like Patricia to be? She could be like Walt Disney or Oprah Winfrey or Barack Obama, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, the head of a charity. She could be herself, ideal client or ecosystem partner for you. Whomever you would like to get a yes from in the world, that is who Patricia very kindly has volunteered to be today. So who would you like Patricia to be?
So I like Patricia to be my ideal client, and or my dream client, and that will be the Vice President of Asset Management for HSBC Bank.
Whoa, that's a specific one. All right, Patricia, you're the Vice President for HSBC Bank. Are you ready to rock and roll?
I am ready.
Adriana, you have 6 minutes. We're going to interrupt you like halfway through, but don't worry about that because Patricia's going to take a quick call and be right back. So you have 6 minutes to go from hello to yes. And it doesn't have to be a sale. It could just be for a longer meeting, a presentation, whatever yes you're seeking. But Adriana, please take us in.
Hi, Patricia. How are you? My name is Adriana.
Hi, Adriana. How are you?
Good, thank you. It's a beautiful day here in Florida. Thank you so much. I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for picking up the phone. And I want to make sure that and be respectful of your time. So I want to make sure and ask you if you have 3 minutes of your time. I would just want to share something with you.
Sure. And I'm in sunny Florida as well. So it's good to speak to a neighbor.
That's great. That's great. What part of Florida are you in?
I'm in Orlando.
I'm in Orlando too.
Hey, super close.
Yeah, that's great. So I was referred to you by Tim Ray. He worked for you. He sold some properties from you. He's from Kansas City. Tim's here talking about the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. Are you a football fan?
No, not really.
Okay, well, I'm from Colombia, and in Colombia, we play football, but football is soccer, which is not American football. So I understand. For me, it's so confusing. I'm still learning. I mean, I love how Americans are so passionate about the game, but it's very confusing for me.
Yeah, I love football too. Soccer.
What sport do you like? Soccer?
I like football as well, as in soccer.
Oh, that's awesome. Awesome. So we're connected. Great. What's your team? What team do you like?
There are so many, but I'm more of a players fan than I am a football fan. So I like Cristiano.
Oh, Cristiano Ronaldo. Oh, he's amazing. I heard that he got COVID recently and he actually did really well. So I'm so happy. I'm so happy. He's like one of my dream players.
Yes, for sure. There are a lot of them. A lot of really, really great ones. Like
yeah. Yeah. Which one?
Droba.
Oh, okay. I never heard of him. Where does he play?
He actually now plays he was in France and he's transitioned over to a UK team.
Okay. Well, amazing. In Colombia, we have James Rodriguez. I don't know if you heard of him. Yeah, he's great.
Yes, very good, actually.
And he plays in Spain. So I love him. I have family from Spain too, so I'm so proud of him always, Spain and Colombia.
Yeah. So how can I help you?
Well, I admire your career from HSBC. I'm so impressed with your career and with your bank. I'm a big fan of your bank, HSBC. I mean, I know that HSBC stands for the Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation, which is amazing because a lot of people don't know that. And they just think it's a name, but it's not actually stands for something. So I took on the duty to explain people whenever they say your bank's name, what it means. I think it's such an interesting fact.
Well done, because you are 100% correct. Most people do not know what it stands for.
Hey, Patricia, you have a quick phone call? And you can bounce right back to Adrian in a second.
All right, thank you, Adriana. So I need to drop off for a second, but I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right. Adriana, how did that feel for you?
It felt good. I was hoping she would say she was from California and not from here, but yeah, it actually felt good.
Awesome. All right. And we're going to check in, Patricia, in one moment on both of these first contestants for like one word in the first round. And Ro, are you ready to rock and roll?
Yes.
And who would you like Patricia to be?
I'd like Patricia to be an entrepreneur. We kind of know each other, but we know of each other, maybe. And let's be at a I was thinking like a business conference.
Amazing. Patricia, you guys kind of know each other. You're an entrepreneur. You meet at a business conference. I think that's like what you guys are. So take us in.
Hey, hi, Patricia. It's good to fancy meeting you here.
Yeah, and such a big place. It's a small world, right?
I know it always is. It always is. But I've been seeing you a lot on social media too and stuff. So how you doing?
Really well. Things are going really well. Trying to get my face and voice out there.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I know in this environment with this pandemic and everything going on, it's a little crazy. How are you adapting to that? I mean, I know if I remember, I think you have children too, like school-age children.
Mm-hmm. So trying to balance it all out together has been interesting.
Interesting. How so?
Interesting. Well, it's really just trying to get the balance of bringing the work life and home life together. So before it was trying to balance it all. And actually, I'm still using the word balance, but now it's more of synergizing them and really just bringing them together and in full acceptance of the fact that the two worlds merge now.
Yeah, kind of. It's like we're kind of more like instead of like in a growth mindset, we need to be in this adaptive kind of mindset now, right? But I think as business owners and entrepreneurs, it's kind of like something we've always done, hasn't it been?
Yeah, it's so funny how we compartmentalize, but I didn't realize it until now, right?
Yeah.
Until really being fully immersed in this space of how it was really silly to put so much energy in trying to go ahead and separate work life, personal life, and and really just trying to balance everything out when it's really just about finding a healthy synergy with it all.
It is. It's finding out what works for you and what works in your situation, right? So, how's your business going with all this?
Well, right now, it's really just me putting a lot of work and effort in really just trying to get my name and my face out there, which is why you're seeing me everywhere within social media and all that.
Yeah, that's why you're at the conference, right?
Yeah.
I'm here because I want to like keep getting fresh of what's going on in this environment and learning from that. It's like, like, is that the same for you, or like, what's your biggest, what's your intention for being here?
Well, I want to try to learn as much as I can and grow as much as I can, but also network too. So, because it would have been easier to just go ahead and do this at home with my kids, right? And trying to keep everything settled. But I think really in getting here and mixing with everyone has been the best part. What's been the best part for you?
Well, first of all, just getting out of the house has been really good. It's like, and getting away from the kids a little bit and getting a little reprieve there. But I'm all into like my business continuing and not putting my head in the sand at this time. So I want to do everything I can to make sure that stays the way, and I do that for others as well. So I'm always here for that.
Yeah.
Hey, Patricia, you got a quick phone call. You can bounce right back to Ro.
All right, Ro, I'll be right back. Just excuse me for 1 second.
Yeah. Hey, Ro, how'd that round one feel for you?
Felt good. Felt conversational.
All right, awesome. And Patricia, if you had a little bit of feedback for connectivity with Ro and Adriana, what would you have?
For Ro, I actually felt everything was great. I would say, actually, no, I felt everything was great. With Adriana, I think, I guess I felt the hesitation, but I think once we started speaking in regards to like football, then your energy was there. So it was all definitely heart-centered in that space and that connection. So I thought it was great.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that. So let's go with the judges. And judges, in this first round, we're assessing how much Adriana and Ro opened up listening of Patricia in that dynamic and connected at not head-to-head level, but heart-to-heart level. So the opening of listening, like heart-to-heart connection, and something being sort of like present and at stake as we move toward the second round, where we'll go for the ultimate yes. So Dr. Nancy, and if we can give that feedback in 30 seconds, some bullets on what went well, a few bullets on what could be optimized. And Dr. Nancy, please, what'd you have for Adriana?
Absolutely. I took a few notes, and Adriana, yes, you did a really great job in introducing yourself and breaking down those barriers. It's very, very important, particularly with the topic of what you wanted to convey to Patricia. I do think that it just took a little too long for you to transition to the point of what it was that you really wanted from Patricia. She did have to ask, so how can I help you? But finding that commonality in football, I think that was really good too.
Awesome.
Ro, yeah, I love the idea of making it casual but familiar, and how you tied entrepreneurship into knowing Patricia and asking about her family and actually listening to hear what she had to say as well. Half the battle is listening and not asking and really keeping on with the conversation. So you engaged her. So that was really, really great points. The other thing also too with Ro, the commonality of the pandemic and the perseverance of entrepreneurship and the adaptation, that's really good.
Awesome. And what did you have, Dr. Nancy, what did you have for scores for each on a scale 1 to 10?
Yeah, great. I'd give Adriana a 7 and Ro a 9.
All right, amazing. Thank you. Chad, what do you have, sir? 30 seconds each, please.
All right. So basically, I saw a commonality. Everybody was truly great. However, when it came to the emotional labeling, just so you know, the mirroring does not work without the emotional labeling. Whenever I think Adriana said interesting, I think, of course you have to sort of prod in what really was interesting about this certain topic. I just wrote down interesting. But I really feel that everybody has this, whenever you have an emotion, somebody says something emotionally, say, okay, well, this was that, this made me feel this way. You've got to prod into that, because otherwise the mirroring and everything else does not work. It's very, very powerful what you guys all did. I give you both 9s. I give everybody, I think the credit where credit is due. You guys, I think, were really, really good otherwise. Amazing.
Awesome, Chad. Chad, quick question. Do you prefer the Johnny Depp Willy Wonka or the Gene Wilder Willy Wonka?
Oh, come on, Wilder.
Yes. Thank you, sir. That's a longer story for a different day, but oh my goodness, did they miss the mark in the second one. It was the whole premise of the movie. He wasn't crazy. He wasn't creepy. He wasn't weird. He was intentional, loving, and unpacking truth. And the second one, he was just like some strange, weird dude. So
I know. It was Bob. We met him at Spires,
Yes. All right, Robin. Gene Wilder, I hope. Yes, Willy Wonka or no?
Yes.
Excellent. And so what 30 seconds do you have each, please, for Adriana and for Ro?
So, Adriana, I felt that you were a little uncomfortable in the beginning, not really in certainty. So I felt that was working against you, and it took you a while to get into rapport. Once you were, I really felt that you worked well with that, and it really did work. You got the connection that you wanted, and it centered around football, and I thought it was very masterful. And Ro, I really felt the give and take of the conversation. So, how is this working for you? What's your intention? And what's not working for you, I think, was a not really present, but you focused on all the good. So you really did create a strong connection. And there was a real, back and forth conversation. I felt you really listened to Patricia. And so with that listening, you could ask another question that dug a little deeper, though, just went a little deeper each time. And I really felt that you got into Patricia and that there was a connection. I'm complete.
Awesome. So how about for a score, Robin? Scores.
Scores, let me think, from 1 to 10, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I would say, Adriana, a 7 and Ro, a 9.
So let's see what Willie says.
The strawberries taste like strawberries. The snozberries taste like snozberries.
Robin, have you ever had a snozberry?
I haven't yet, but I would love to try one. I love berries.
We will see if we could get an unbelievable to also deliver some snozberries. We will try. So we're ready for round 2. Thank you. Thank you. Amazing judges. Much appreciated, Chad, Robin, Dr. Nancy, and Adriana, and Ro. Michelle is back for round 2. So Ro, she's back. Are you ready? 3 minutes to go from here to yes. You all set?
Yes.
Let's take it in. Thank you.
All right. So it's a weird of the end break. So
It's all right. I came back. Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So it's so exciting to see you here and wanting to really, to tap into yourself and grow into yourself. And, but like something I'm always asking all my clients, and me and empowering women. And right now, this pandemic, my biggest fear is that women are putting their head in the sand. So I like to kind of take this little survey. What is really keeping you alive? What's energizing you right now in your business?
What's energizing me is trying new things. Right? Like the fact that you're seeing me now on social media, those are things that I haven't really delved into in the past. So that to me is probably the most exciting, adventurous side of it.
So you become this overnight instant influencer, right?
Hopefully, that's what we're aiming for.
How does that feel?
It's exciting, actually. I thought it would be super scary, but no, it's actually exciting.
It hasn't been scary. That's interesting. That's really cool. That's like, I love that. I love that. It's like you're digging into it and deep. So is there anything that's actually been, challenging you or stopping you or anywhere? Is like anywhere you're getting stuck at all?
Yeah.
That I could because me, I love to support and I love to serve. So that's why I ask.
Well, yeah. I mean, for me, it's more of, am I spreading myself too thin? Am I invested in too many things all at once? So that's probably the one question that pops up a lot.
And it's like, starting programs and not being able to finish. Yeah.
Yeah. Or just hopping around from program to program.
So would you like some support on figuring out like which one of these things that you invested in would be best for you to really focus on and make it your number one priority, and put the other ones maybe on the back burner, because what's going to get you the most effective and the most vast, accelerated results is the one, figure out which one that is, because that's kind of like a little bit of my wheelhouse. Would you like to figure that out?
Support.
I'm
30
sorry?
seconds to go.
Just tell me what you mean by support.
Oh, just like, I was just thinking of like maybe like getting on a phone call and figuring out, seeing like really what your vision is, what's going on, and then seeing where I could give you resources. Maybe I could give you tips, maybe we could even go further. Who knows? It's just me seeing where you're at and figuring out what's your next best move. And you have all these things on your plate, like, let's figure out, well, what's the one that is the one that's going to actually move the needle for you? I'd love to get on a phone call and have that conversation. If that works, I'm game.
Yeah, if it's something simple.
10 seconds to go.
Yeah, 30 minutes. Are you free on Monday?
Yeah. What time?
Great. I'm good at either 11 o'clock or I have some time in the afternoon, maybe at 2. Which one's better?
We can go for 2.
2 o'clock. Great. Get together.
Excellent job. Yes is in the house. All things happen after yes, integrous, authentic yes. And that's like, bro, is it a good idea if somebody says yes to you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Feels good.
So it all begins after yes. Great job. Adriana, you ready for round 2?
Ready.
All right. Take us in, please.
Hi, Patricia. I'm glad that you're back.
Yes. Hi. Sorry about that.
It's okay. Do you mind if I share a little bit more about myself so that I can see, or maybe you can see how I can serve you?
Absolutely. I'd love to hear it.
Great. So I'm a self-made Colombian immigrant. I came here at my age of 18. I learned English back then at 18, hence my accent. And I was fleeing from guerrilla warfare, and it was my dream to be here, to be in the United States. I believe this is the land of opportunity. It was my dream also to be financially independent and work in real estate. So I'm very passionate about what I do. I believe that real estate is a great vehicle to become wealthy in this country. And also it is part of the American dream. I have been in real estate for the last 20 years. Here in Orlando, we have a team of 10 agents. And I specialize in foreclosure. Some of our clients are Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Wells Fargo, Chase, and also we have been named one of the top 20 agents in the country for the last 10 years. We have sold over 1,500 homes, but we're yet to have HSBC as one of our dream clients. So also wanted to ask you some questions about your business. I wanted to learn more about you and see if maybe we can serve you for some of your real estate needs right now in the pandemic. Do you mind if I ask you some questions?
No, go ahead.
So how are you dealing with the foreclosure moratorium now in the state of Florida?
Well, I didn't realize you were going to dig that deep right away. So I'd have to say there are a couple of different avenues that we're looking at in order to address it. What in particular are you looking to do when it comes to HSBC? Like, I'm sure just the fact that you know what HSBC stands for, I'm sure you've done a little more homework on where we stand. So I'm curious to know what exactly you're thinking you can help us in.
Yeah, well, I know that in your asset management department, after the foreclosure moratorium is lifted, you're gonna have some properties that need to be disposed, properties of clients that are not defaulting, that are on default, that are not paying, and that are on foreclosure. So we wanna assist you with
30 seconds.
So I'll just would like a little bit more of your time. If I could stop by your office since you're here in Orlando, in the next week or so, I can bring donuts or bring a breakfast or lunch for your employees, and maybe we can learn more about each other and the services that we do for the properties once they go out into foreclosure to be sold. And so I don't know if you mind if we set up a time to stop later at your office and maybe get a chance to meet you in person.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking donuts, yeah, let's go ahead and have donuts.
Donuts, breakfast, or lunch.
Yeah, it sounds like fun.
Cool.
Michelle, Patricia, we are down if donuts are in play. Is that true?
Yes.
Donuts in play equals we're down. That is amazing. So Adriana, great job. And again, I'll ask you the same question I asked Ro. Is somebody in for like a good thing happening if they say yes to meet with you, Adriana?
Yeah, of course. I love meeting with people. So yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. And you are uniquely outstanding at what you do, are you not?
Yes, I am.
Yes. And I wanted to share that your story is inspirational. You know, we talk about hardships and dynamics and things that people live with, but escaping and dealing with warfare is something that most people cannot even be present to at any level. So your story is quite inspirational, and thank you for sharing it today.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so blessed to be in America. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Patricia, how was that round in terms of connectivity? Like what kind of congruence, resonance were you feeling from each of these amazing folks?
I felt it's so interesting because the first time around, I felt the congruence with Adriana more than I felt with Ro. This time around, I actually felt it more with Ro than I felt with Adriana. So it was actually an interesting twist because this second time around, I was really looking to understand the expertise and how we could come together. But it was very clear to me on Ro's side of how it comes together. So that's what made me connect more.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Patricia, can we play a fun game?
Yes.
Okay. You can pick either, well, if you agree to play like a role play, we could do that, yes?
Yes.
Okay. You could be either a CNN anchor or a Fox anchor. Which would you prefer?
Boy, CNN.
Okay. Somehow I had a feeling that's what your selection was going to be, Patricia. Okay. So let's drop in. So actually, for even more fun, no, let's go. Okay. So CNN. So, hey, Patricia, thanks so much for having a chat. My name is Sean Calgi. I'm with Unblinded, and I really appreciate you considering being on our Unblinded podcast. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. I've heard a lot about you guys.
No, thank you. Thank you very much. And listen, I know a lot's happening, coming up on the election. And what do you think? Like, what's in your heart?
A lot is too little of a description. It's quite a bit.
Yeah, it's like a lot, right? Like complete insanity, mayhem, chaos, tears, anger, distrust, division, protesting, fighting, killing, dying, economies in the balance. All of these things are present. Yes?
Correct. It is a deselection of all of the above.
Yeah. And when you first stepped into deciding to move into the space of journalism, right? What was it that caused that decision for you? Like, what was present?
Being able to get to the truth and really just making the truth present without opinion.
That's awesome.
Just being able to speak to that.
Yeah, love it. And how hard do you think that is to actually do?
It's quite difficult, actually, because as much as you curate all of the facts, you still have to make sure that what you've curated is not based off of your perception or your bias. You still have to be able to get it from all views, all sides, inclusive.
Yeah. And I think, and my heart goes out to you and everybody in the space of journalism, because while that's the outcome, I think that every journalist begins with, in fact, you, CNN, Fox, ABC, NBC, CBS. And by the way, I say this, my sister is an Emmy award-winning director of the early show on CBS. And in fact, she was the youngest female director in the history of network news. So my sister is in the media, right? But I think, actually, I don't think, I'm very sure that all of you are actually for-profit businesses, though. Is that a fair statement?
It's fair. That's why we end up getting skewed at times.
Yeah, and I honor it, because you have the intense pressure of competing for viewership, right?
Every day.
Yeah. So can I ask this? Like, how do you think that impacts Fox News and how they make decisions about what they present? Like with what Fox News is up to, and there's advertisers and eyeballs, how do you think the pressure of competing for eyeballs affects what Fox News shows its viewers?
Well, it takes away from the authenticity of journalism, because now we move more towards subjective reporting versus objective reporting. The people are the ones who are to make their decision based off the facts that we present, but unfortunately, now facts are driven by viewership.
Right. And do you feel that applies to CNN as well, with that pressure for viewership and eyeballs, and that it impacts how things are presented?
Yes. It's the constant battle of every journalist to always come back to trying to really just give out the facts.
Yeah. Well, so here's what I'm present to, that we have a systemic problem, because I believe that most human beings are good-hearted and they seek true north. And I think very few don't. In fact, when Dale Carnegie wrote How to Win Friends and Influence People, he stepped into this dynamic and said that most people who are in fact on death row have rationalizations for their behavior. So virtually everybody in every story sees himself or herself as the righteous and good person. Now, we sometimes feel guilty and realize we did wrong, but by and large, even when we do wrong, we as humans have rationalizations for it. I think I'm present to that. Does that make a little bit of sense?
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So what we're here to do in Unblinded is to lean into truths like that, because I think that's present for you. It's present for people at Fox and ABC, CBS, NBC, every BuzzFeed to the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, all of it. And everybody went into it virtually for the seeking of truth. So we do on the Real Raw is we seek truth. So what I would love to do is to see if you, as somebody who has such an incredible level of notoriety and success, will be willing to come on the Real Raw with somebody from Fox and actually compete to display the truth, but not in a dramatic, crazy way, not in an attacking, blaming, or judging way, but in a way to heart-centeredly first think of all the ways that you agree, and then to figure out how to deal with the things you don't agree upon. I know it's an extraordinary ask, and I'm up to solving a systemic problem. And I give you carte blanche to blast us to the high heavens if we at Unblinded on the Real Raw ever sit in the space of trying to grab eyeballs by creating false drama and doing anything but pursue truth in a loving, respectful, and integrous way. How does that resonate for you? I know it's a huge ask.
Wow. That actually brings me back to the heart of journalism. It brings me back to where I started and what we are all struggling to try to find a way back to. So I actually would love that opportunity.
All right. Well, thank you, Patricia. So, Patricia, how'd that feel for you?
It felt beautiful. It felt like a conversation that needs to be had.
Well, it will be, my friend, with all of us working together. It will be. So thank you. Robin, a little bit of feedback for these amazing participants, please. And if you want to comment on anything that just occurred, feel free to or not. So Robin, what do you got?
So I love the recent conversation, and I think it would be incredible to see this actually occur, and that it is from a heart-centered space that could really create an epic change in how people view news, how news is viewed, and change in the world. So that's really an exciting concept and thought. And for the role plays, Ro, I felt that, you know, you were really direct and going for your yes in along the same vein as you had started with your inquiry and your sort of call and response and the listening. And I felt it was very, very effective. So, and heartfelt and real. And Adriana, I felt that that you have this amazing story, and it is definitely a story that gets to be told. And I also had this feeling from Patricia that she was waiting for it during waiting for your ask, and that there were more questions that could have been asked of her. I felt that you really create rapport, and there is this, you know, you come from this incredible space and this incredible place, and you have this great story that is so meaningful to everyone and anyone. So I thought it was effective, and you needed more time.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, what did you have for scores?
For scores, I'm going to continue with a 9 for Ro and a 7 for Adriana.
All right, awesome. And how was today for you? Thank you, first of all. Thank you so much for being here and investing your time and energy. It's much appreciated. And how was today for you, Robin, on the Real Raw?
Thank you so much for inviting me. Today has been great, really interesting. I'd love to, this group of people, there's a lot of things, conversations I'd like to continue with pretty much everyone here. So it was very, awesome. Very, it's a whole new world.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Being invited, thank you.
Well, thank you. And that's the intention, right, is to create disruption in a lot of spaces in the seeking of truth. In marketing, in selling, in leadership, and in solving big problems. So thank you for that. Chad, thanks so much for being here. How was today for you, by the way?
Today was awesome. I really learned a lot about everybody here. I would definitely love to talk to Patricia one of these days because of the fact that I kind of see both houses CNN, Fox, and so forth. Living here in California, you have the two extremes. But I definitely like to talk to her on a different note. As far as what happened in our role play today, with Roe, okay, I felt really, really amazed because this is about disarming their inhibitions to talk to you. I think she's just an effective communicator. I believe that there was so many different things that she was following my guidelines, which is really kind of funny. You first talk about a person's strengths, weaknesses, and any dangers, and then any opportunities and strengths. So she turned a fearful person into an empowered person, and that brought them closer. So I would be afraid to actually go head to head with her. Adriana, I love Adriana, period, end of story. There's no doubt about it. There's a lot of great information there. I totally respect you and honor you. Here's the thing. I really didn't feel you disarmed me. I would say a lot of thought into that because the fact of your story is so enamoring. It almost makes you want to cry. I'm not really that emotional, but I am. And I felt it was a very good thing, but you didn't really pry into wanting to seek to understand too much. You tried a couple times, but I believe it was foreshadowed with a lot of your story. But it was a great story. I think you need to go forward and disarm that person, mirror them, and an emotional label them once you find out where it hurts to them and where to go with that. So I think you're both incredible. I'm both giving you 9s. I think there's definitely, this is a great process for everybody to learn from. And that's it.
Chad, thank you so much for being here today, sir. Dr. Nancy, taking us home. How was today for you on the Real Raw, and what say you for Adriana and for Ro?
Yeah, pretty amazing. I wasn't sure what to expect. I did a little bit of homework, but as a doctor, I don't always get an opportunity to look into things of this nature as intently as I would in patient care. But I can be spontaneous too. And I was asked to be on the show just hours ago last night. So I was really, really happy to be a part of it today. Amazing people all around. And I too would love to stay connected. And Sean and Patricia, that dialogue about, you said heart-centered space. Well, that's a passion of mine. And one of my main goals and sayings is be the change you wish to see in this world. And it only takes one person. And, one of the reasons why I decided to do a talk show, Dr. Nancy Knows radio talk show, is to dispel confusion and come into people's hearts. And I was given an opportunity to have a greater choice. And I feel obligated to do that in an unbiased way. And in a way that it breaks down barriers and easy to understand. And it's through having celebrity guests on the show. It's through having expert guests on the show. But it's to break down all of that and to become really human, to share your story. So I'll transition into Adriana. Your story is very powerful. When you're able to allow yourself to be vulnerable to the person or the group that you're speaking to, that makes you human. And humans, we are connected anyway, so it's just something that we automatically will come back to. But we live in a world and a society that there's a lot of egos, there's a lot of fear and anxiety that a lot of times people can't really share or show themselves to you. But when you share your story and you come from a place of love and genuineness, you will get through to them every time. And Ro, you did just that as well. I love that call to action. I love how you say, how can I support you? And Patricia, I would say that too. Like, what do you mean? Because we don't live in a world sometimes that's so common for people to really help you. And Ro was coming from a real place of really wanting to help you. So we just need to stay steadfast and consistent with the delivery of genuine information and content.
Awesome job. Thank you, Dr. Nancy, so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ro, how was today for you? And again, thank you for your courage and vulnerability being a participant today, as well as the judges' courage and vulnerability for their authentic, heart-centered, and open feedback. So how was today for you, Ro?
It was fun. So it was fun. It was Fun Friday, and it was great. Very interesting. Love hearing the feedback because you never know like how you're perceived, right? Unless you're looking at results sometimes, but that's not always the way to look at it. And so it was really interesting and really valuable to hear that. And meeting everybody I love the whole idea. I mean, I love what you're doing. I mean, this is what I want to disrupt women in showing up in the world and speaking their truth. So I'm so in alignment with your story and what you're doing, and I'm so behind what you're doing. So I'm like, go for it. Keep doing it.
Thank you.
It's great. So thank you.
Thank you, Ro. People like yourselves have been on 275 episodes so far since COVID began, and incredible things are happening. Thank you, Ro. Adriana, thank you again for your courage, vulnerability, your story, your passion. Yeah, please. How was today for you?
Today was amazing. Today was a lot of fun. I was so happy that I was here. I loved all the feedback. I loved the opportunity to grow and to be more present to my conversations with my clients, have develop a high level listening, be heart-centered on what I speak. I also love to encourage and empower others. So I love the mission of Unblinded also.
Thank you.
So it was really powerful to be on this spontaneity on the spot. Again, it's a place for me to grow and to work on those conversations that I have every day. And then I love meeting Patricia. That was the best part of the show. And she lives in Orlando, so I'm gonna take her on for a donut and coffee date. And then once the Orlando City Sockers are playing, then we're gonna go watch the game. Yay!
That's amazing. And then, by the way, Patricia, if Disney World is ever for sale, the listing goes for Adriana. Yes?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Adriana. Amazing. And finally,
just one other quick thing I could say is that
yes.
I loved the 6 minutes and the timing, because it was like, that was tough for me with the timing. And to know that I got it in was like, oh my God, because I'm the person that could go talk for 60 minutes.
Bro,
Like,
you did a great job. You did a
so
great job.
Thank you.
Patricia, final for you.
Final for me, Adriana, I want to highlight with what everyone was stating is that when you speak your truth in all of what your truth is, you will immediately connect. And here's what I mean by that. When you made the comment of, I wish you stated that you were from California, your truth at that moment could have been, oh, I thought you were from California, right? And then I would have immediately connected to say, oh, well, I moved, or, oh yeah, that is my home, right? The other piece is that you did a lot of research on HSBC. I work with them too, but you did a lot of research on HSBC. So you knew what the problem area was. It was okay for you to say, this is what I understand your problem area to be. Is that true? Is that something you're still dealing with? Are there some other areas that you guys are dealing with? And then speak to where you come in and your expertise and how you can help. I thought that would have been great, but all of that is surrounded around your truth and you just delivering that. So that's my final.
Final. Thank you so much, Patricia, for being here today. And everybody, I hope you have a beautiful weekend and Halloween. And as Peter says, the moment we doubt whether we can fly, we cease forever to be able to do so. Have a beautiful.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I also give Patricia a 10.
Yeah,
Boom.
10.